Welcome back. Today we have some rather gossipy news relative to early America. North Carolina became a state on this day. We have one of Edison's inventions, a note about Albert Einstein, a song and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, sit back, and let's check it out. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for November 21st. November 21st is the 325th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 326th in leap years, with 40 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is extirpate. Extirpate is a verb that means to destroy completely, to wipe out, to pull up by the root, to cut out by surgery. Often used to describe annihilation of plant and animal populations, but it can be used anywhere that you want to describe the complete removal or destruction of a thing, as in, the candidate vowed if elected to extirpate corruption in the mayor's office, or Janelle set about to extirpate the Bermuda grass from her garden. Sometimes when you see the word decimate being used, extirpate will have been the more correct word to use. Extirpate comes to us from Latin, first known use, 1535. Extirpate. And with that, we're going to start with the kind of story that exemplifies why I enjoy history. I will admit it was always just a bunch of blah, blah, blah until I understood, hey, wait a minute, this is about actual people. Things they did, decisions they made, actions they took, and what happened because of it. I like to think of history now as elegant gossip. Elegant gossip. So here we go. So it was over 200 years ago, back in 1776, the colonists were in the midst of the Revolutionary War, trying their level best to pull loose of Great Britain and the control of King George. The main characters in today's drama are General George Washington, a general named Charles Lee, and a British Lieutenant Colonel Banastra Tarleton. English-born General Charles Lee had taken a commission in the British Army upon finishing military school some 30 years previously at a young age and served in North America during the 7 Years' War. As the American Revolution evolved into a fighting war, he felt slighted that the less experienced Washington had been given command of the Continental Army. Interestingly, Lee had been adopted into the Mohawk tribe by way of his marriage to a Mohawk woman, and it seems that General Lee had a bit of a temper on him, such that the Mohawks had given him the moniker of Boiling Water. Also, it seems that being married apparently didn't dim his interest in, shall we say, ladies to whom he was not married. So comes November 21st of 1776. General Lee was out in Westchester County, New York, and General Washington wrote to him to report the loss of Fort Lee, New Jersey. Ordered General Lee to bring his forces to New Jersey right away. General Lee, being his angry, willful self, was in no hurry to do any such thing. Lee wanted to stay in New York and didn't trouble himself to hurry at all in departing, crossing the small state of New Jersey to meet up with Washington at the Delaware River, where Washington waited on the arrival of his reinforcements. And so it is that over 3 weeks later, on December 13th, still dawdling away on his way to meet up with General Washington in New Jersey, Lee left his army and went looking for a girlfriend for the night. He found his way to Widow White's Tavern in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, where it just so happens that British Lieutenant Colonel Tarleton and the 16th Queen's Light Dragoons captured him. Oh yeah, Tarleton knew right away who Lee was. He and Lee had been comrades in the British Army, and here they were now, captor and captive. It seems that General Lee not only didn't get the job he'd wanted in the colonies, he'd also been disappointed in his efforts to secure a lucrative royal appointment, which is kind of why he came to the colonies, ostensibly to retire. Not long after he got here, he joined the Patriot cause. Oh boy. Now, Tarleton had sworn in a London club that he would hunt down this traitor to the crown and relieve him of his head. Fortunately for Lee, Tarleton failed to keep that promise, although Lee might rather have preferred a quick end to the humiliation of being led from Widow White's tavern to New York City in his nightdress. As it happens, the British were quite pleased to have captured the Patriots' best-trained commander, while Washington negotiated for his release to no avail. Meanwhile, the faithless and fickle Lee enjoyed his captivity, even drafting a battle plan for his captors from plush accommodations in which his personal servant maintained his 3 rooms and no doubt served his food and wine in a most civilized fashion, an early version of country club prison. In case you're curious, the British did not act upon his plan. Maybe they didn't trust him? Lee was released in May of 1778, upon which he reported to Valley Forge. He still resented Washington. I guess sometimes old grudges never die, and they argued with some regularity. Eventually, Lee was suspended from the army in December of 1778 and dismissed in 1780. North Carolina ratified the United States Constitution and was admitted as the 12th U.S. state on November 21st, 1789. On November 21st, 1877, Thomas Edison announced his invention of the phonograph, a machine that could record and play sound. Albert Einstein's paper that led to the mass energy equivalence formula, E equals mc squared, was published on November 21st, 1905. The Partridge Family was a TV show that ran from 1970 to 1974. If you're not familiar with the show, it was about a family of musical siblings, their widowed mother, and their manager, and their adventures as a performing family. A month before the TV show debuted, the Partridge Family released a song called I Think I Love You, written by Tony Romeo. The late David Cassidy played the oldest son on the show and was the lead vocalist on this song. It did well on release, and so when the Partridge Family TV show debuted, it had a ready audience. I sure remember my sisters and I gathering around the TV for Partridge Family back in the day. I Think I Love You by the Partridge Family hit number 1 on November 21st, 1970 for a 3-week run. Link in the description. How about that? Our quote today is a lovely old thing. It's been around at least since the early 1900s. I first saw it when a friend of ours gave us a copy of the one he had, which had been handwritten by his grandmother and hung above her kitchen sink. It is, use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. Great old mantra of thriftiness. Alrighty, y'all take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. And a hearty and grateful shout out to these lovely folks who've bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to add your name to that list, there is a link in the description where you too can buy me a coffee. Alrighty. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. No Really. No Really. Consider following my Day in History page on Facebook if you're on Facebook. I also have a Patreon account now, or you can buy me a coffee. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.